Hello friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols, the Advanced Protocols Data Project. You know, I was just thinking about how there are suns, stars, distributed throughout the universe, and that stars are essentially energy sources, and how they just seem like lights on an incubator. That these energy sources that are spread out apart from each other seem like so perfect for creating life. It almost seems as if someone said, you know what, let's create a universe for life specifically. So what should we do? We need a place where life can exist in. We need a zoo for it, some sort of giant zoo. So we'll create space. We'll give it space. And then we'll distribute some stars around. Different types of stars. And keep them spread out so life can grow around them. And then around those energy sources, we'll put planets, which would be the homes for these stars. And it seems so suspiciously kind of perfect that we have all of these energy sources and places for life just kind of spread out around the universe. It just seems a little like suspiciously perfect for creating life. Does it seem that way to you guys? Or is it just the anthropic principle making me believe such? Well, regardless, when you think about how life forms might propagate over time from their planets, of course they would start off on a little planet around a sun, and eventually they get to around our stage, where they start leaving that planet. The ability to leave that planet and spread out. And maybe they learn how to conquer, let's say, their solar system, okay? They learn how to conquer their solar system and just travel around their solar system a lot. But then imagine an ultra-advanced civilization. They now have gotten to this stage, like us, where technology is rising incredibly fast, and perhaps they start sending out things like von Neumann probes. They take over a few locations, a few star systems around them, and in each location they send out more and more von Neumann probes. And over time, they end up taking over large portions of a galaxy, and maybe even a whole galaxy. Now remember, the universe is 14 billion years old. So this is a long, long time for life forms to spread out. So it's very logical to assume that people have found us, or creatures have found us, something has found us. And you would think that they would continue this spreading out process. Not just study us when they arrive here, but study and then at the same time continue their process. And in previous videos, we've explored how advanced civilizations might create a base nearby a planet and use that little base to create more and more and more craft. And that may be what we're experiencing now. There seems to be a very large increase in the numbers of fleets seen in UFO events. And it's possible, it's conceivable that our moon, or someplace like that nearby, was the first spot for a von Neumann probe to land. And I believe these von Neumann probes don't just reproduce themselves. I think they produce a factory, depending on the location and the desirability of the mission in that area, depending on the state of the different planets around the star and everything. And so maybe they first built a factory on the far side of the moon, and maybe over time they increased the number of craft, and maybe even now they have some of these craft being built in our own oceans. I think it's very probable that a lot of these recent military cases, like the Nimitz case or the Go Fast case, where there were fleets of craft detected, and time again, we see fleets of craft, small craft. And it seems to me that we may have a trend. And the trend is twofold. One is that there are more and more craft being seen at once, more fleets of craft than ever before, which would go with the chronology of a civilization building more and more once they arrive. They may have a factory under one of our oceans and are spitting out saucers. It's an interesting thought, but with all these occurrences lately of more and more craft being seen, and especially at certain locations, we know some locations have a lot of reoccurring sightings, and these are not the nuclear sites. These are some locations on the West Coast, off of Florida, and other places. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe it's just a continuation of the von Neumann probes, and right now we're at a point where they have created a lot of craft. And perhaps they are now creating enough craft to continue that sort of von Neumann probe exploration, that continuation of more and more craft being built. And it makes me think of a non-biological life form. It makes me think that this might be a post-biological civilization that's visiting us. A lot of their physical actions and encounters with craft kind of have a robotic sort of feel to them. Maybe we're just another stop in the solar system hopping that they do. And maybe they've created a whole bunch more craft in case of any possibility here on the planet. What do you guys think? Do you think there are more craft being seen now at once than previously? Do you think there's a trend happening where there are more military encounters than in the past? We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this. And where you think there are some bases. Much love to you and yours.